Hello and welcome to Chocolate for Breakfast. This is actually Friday's tip, a day late. I'm sorry, I was taken up with a lot of different things yesterday and also with a lot of writing on the book. So I do apologise for the day late. And so the Friday tip on Saturday is about making food simple, okay? We all lead really busy lives. You know, I think I might have mentioned this in a previous video. We lead lives where we're kind of running around all the time and we've got an awful lot of professional pressure. I know, for example, I work 7 different jobs and I spend 17 hours a week roughly in my car to actually get to these different places, and it's very time consuming, and sometimes I'm getting home really late at night, or I'm leaving early in the morning and I'm getting home late at night, and that, sometimes I get home at 9:30, 10 in the evening and I don't feel like cooking. I don't feel like it. I'm tired and maybe things have come up during the day. So what I'm going to say today, because I have a few remarks to make about that, is I'm explaining my own situation to say that I understand that it seems very difficult, and we have this feeling that we don't have so much time. We have all these machines available, at our fingertips, and we seem to have less time. We feel overwhelmed and overrushed. So to talk a little bit about that aspect of things, just again, another parenthesis, which has nothing to do with food and eating. When I had my son in 2004, this was all new to me, my first child, and I felt completely rushed off my feet. I felt like it never stopped. Even when the baby, my son, had started sleeping through the night, I still felt like it never stopped. And then 2 years later, I had my daughter. And I couldn't help thinking at the time, wow, when I had only one, I had so much time. It is true. If you decide to add things, it's like I say, I work 7 jobs, I spend 17 hours in my car, and I'm working on a book and I'm making videos. So there is time to do things. I think first of all it's a question of organisation. Or maybe second of all, it's a question of organisation, but I think it's also, in a sense, related to our way of thinking. And again, I'm going to come back to the programme that sadly has just finished with Michael Neill, the Living from the Inside Out. And again, if you can check out Michael Neill's website and see if he's doing any future programmes of this. It's amazing. It's been an amazing experience. But one of the things that I have learned from this is, in a sense, we have for example, you have a row with your boss yesterday, right? You have a big blazing row, or with your partner, and you've slept maybe not that well, and you get up the next day and you're feeling really crap and really angry, and you keep thinking about what happened yesterday. And you're feeling bad because you're thinking about this row, but that row happened yesterday. It's not happening at the moment. But you're busying your mind with the thoughts of what happened previously, or you're thinking about what you have to do tomorrow or the next day. One of the solutions you can do, one of the things that Michael Neill told us to do, or taught us to do, I should say, was to just accept the thoughts as just thoughts. And that sounds very strange, but when you actually start doing it, it suddenly clears a whole space away in your mind. It's just a thought, okay. Don't have to really dwell on it any further. You know, don't have to attach more significance to it than is necessary. If it's happening right now, okay, yeah. If it's happened yesterday, it's going to happen in 2 weeks' time. Let's see about that when it happens, and you know, there's no point going over what happened before, because you know that it's happened. So this that I have learned through this program, it's completely cleared space in my mind, which when you don't have all these parasite thoughts coming all the time, constantly and churning and going over and over and over, you suddenly have more time. Which is really quite extraordinary. So that's one thing. The other thing you can do, and I find this to be really quite helpful for me, is occasionally, I don't do it all the time because I'm, as I said before, I'm not horribly well organized, you know, I'm not like one of these perfectionists. Everything's perfectly in order, and you know, everything's, you know, exactly where it should be, and you know, but occasionally, you know, maybe once every 2 weeks, I actually make a list. Because very often what happens, again with the thinking, and we're going to get to the cooking side of things and the eating side of things in a moment, but what very often happens is you're thinking about something that you need to do in a week or in a day's time, or you've got what's it called? Sorry, I'm so sorry, I've got the word in French, a deadline to fill for such and such, and you keep thinking and thinking and thinking, and you keep going over it, and the fact that you keep having these things, I've got to do this and I've got to do that, and oh yeah, but you keep coming back to the first thing, and you keep going round and round in circles, and so you feel completely overwhelmed. No wonder at the end of the day you're exhausted. You know, who wouldn't be? When I do that, I'm exhausted. So make maybe a list just to clear that space and accept the thoughts as they're coming without really dwelling on what's happening, you know, or yeah, okay, you need to pay that bill in 2 weeks' time, but that's in 2 weeks' time. I'm not saying it's not a problem to sort perhaps, but you know, it's not right now. Clear some space. And clear some space in the things that you have to do. And you know, some people work on timetables, they organize a schedule and stuff like that. I don't do that because, you know, I'm very, the French say bordelique, you know, just like do it when it comes. And a lot of the time it's at the last minute, but that's the way I work. And you know, I think you also have to accept the way you work. So that's maybe the first thing is to kind of find a way of getting rid of this overwhelmed feeling, because a lot of the time when we're overwhelmed, again, we get exhausted with it, and you know, you get home in the evening and you're like, okay, I've just had it, get something out the fridge, stick it in the microwave. Okay, now again, to do with the cooking thing, I would actually say I'm fairly organized as far as that's concerned. I have a system, and I'm going to share what I do with you. And again, I'm not sharing this with you to say, oh, look at me, aren't I good? You should do this too, and if you don't do this, you're rubbish. It's nothing to do with that. I'm sharing my ideas, play around with them, find out what works for you, and you know, and then do that. That's the most important, is find your way of doing things. And if, you know, this can inspire you or give you another idea, and again, if you've got some feedback and you want to write to me and say, well, look, you know, that's completely silly, this is what I do, I'm open to that completely. You know, feel free, just do it. You know, I'm for the contact and the interconnection. I love it. And again, I'll say it now so that I don't forget at the end of the video. Facebook group, Facebook page, come and join us. Lots and lots of stuff going on. We're organising a call-in on the 10th of June at 5 p.m. France time. I have no idea what time that would be where you are. If you want to join in the call, if you have any questions, I may be having the Dr. Joe Leonardi. I need to ask him if he will be able to join us on the call. We're also going to be doing a Blog Talk Radio interview with Dr. Joe Leonardi, so I'll keep you posted. Renowned doctor, best-selling author of Fat Then Fit Now, Life After Weight Loss. So be sure and tune into that, and I will let you know the details for that when it comes up. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty of the cooking. This is what I do, and I'm actually going to give the example of what I did yesterday. Yesterday was an amazing day. I had a day off. You know, it was a great day, and you know, was working on the book, and I had a few other things to do. So that was really nice. But really important was I made myself a meal, and I know a lot of people don't like this, to eat maybe the same thing over a few days, but this is how I deal with meals, because I'm out a lot of the time, and again I get home in the evening and I'm tired and I don't feel like, you know, getting all the stuff out and doing all the cooking and everything and the preparation. You know, sometimes nice just to get in and it's there. So I organise myself in that way, and this can work whether you happen to live on your own or if you happen to live in a family. When I was married and we were living as a family of 4, I organised the cooking in this way also. So I'm just going to give you an example. What I did yesterday was I planned roast chicken and ratatouille, okay? Homemade, apart from obviously the chicken isn't homegrown. I got that from the butcher. So I get the chicken and the ratatouille. And what I did yesterday, and I'm actually going to show you because I timed it, the preparation time, the time to prepare the chicken and the vegetables and get everything on the go, okay? Total time, wait for it, I need to get this open. Total time was, I hope it's still registered. I don't know if you can see this. Total time, 18 minutes, 10 seconds, point, I don't know what the 2 is. Microseconds, I have no idea. I'm not scientific enough. 18 minutes, right? That was the time to cut the vegetables, put them in the pan, put them in the pot, wash, prepare the chicken, and I had to fight. You need to take 5 minutes off of that because I had to fight the giblets out. The butcher hadn't actually removed the giblets, they were still all attached, and I don't have proper knives and stuff, so I had to fight my way through lots of blood and stuff and get the giblets out. Okay, so let's say 15 minutes. If we want to be fair, let's round it up to 15 minutes to prepare the vegetables for ratatouille, which is, you know, it's not just like sticking something basic, you know, you have to prepare, cut the stuff and get it going. I cooked the chicken for 2 hours. I just put it in the oven and I left it. The ratatouille I cooked on a very low heat for 1.5 hours. I did go into the kitchen occasionally, give it a stir to make sure it wasn't sticking, but it was fine. And I boiled up the giblets in the pot, and I'm going to explain to you what I do with the giblets, because also I do my cooking in I attempt to do my cooking in an economical way, and I will explain to you how I do this. So that was it. And I couldn't help thinking yesterday, sorry, bumped the desk. I couldn't help thinking yesterday, 2 weeks ago, like I say, I'm not a goody two shoes. I do eat pizzas and things like that, and this is exactly what I'm going to say. Pizza. I got the pizza, I got home from work on a Saturday evening, feeling really tired, exhausted, and I'd had a big row with one of my students' parents, so I didn't, you know, it was like, leave me alone. And, you know, in that mindset, I thought, that's it, I'm just going to have a pizza. So I went to the local shop, so across the road, I went to the local shop. That took me, by the time I got through the queue, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. To actually buy the pizza. Then I get home and I get the pizza and I turn it over to see how am I supposed to cook this. Preheat the oven for 15 minutes. You can see exactly where I'm going to with this, don't you? Okay, preheat the oven for 15 minutes. 15 minutes plus 10 minutes is 25 minutes. Right? I prepared my chicken, roast chicken and ratatouille in 15. where's the time saver? You know, there isn't one. And then another 10 minutes, obviously, and I usually put it on a little bit longer to make sure this was a frozen one, so I put it on 5 minutes longer. So half an hour all in all, plus the time to go do the thing, 40 minutes. And okay, I concede I did cook the stuff for 2 hours, but during that 2 hour cooking time, I went away and I did other things. I did go and have a look occasionally. Okay, so I'm going to carry on with this. I get my chicken out of the oven, okay? This was my lunch, so I have the chicken, the ratatouille for lunch. I take all the vegetables out of the ratatouille, and I have the sauce, the juice that's left. Okay, nothing gets wasted here. I take all the chicken off the bones. I take the giblets out of the pot. Now, where I boiled them up, I've now got stock for soup. And the juice from the ratatouille is also going to make the soup. So I pour the stock from the giblets into the ratatouille juice. Then I put some more water in the pan and I stick all the chicken bones in the pan. So I'm going to make stock from what's left on the chicken bones, and the meat that's left on the chicken bones, because there's part of the meat you can't get off, it goes very, very soft when it's cooked in the water, when it's boiled in the water. So you've got the stock and you can also get the meat back off the bones. So basically the only thing I don't actually eat on the chicken is the bones. The giblets, I don't eat them either, but I give them to the cat, but she loves them, so that's fine. Everything has been used up so far. The thing is, today, for example, Saturday, I work all day on the Saturday, I get home, my meal is already ready. So I spent, all in all, between the preparation time for the soup, because afterwards obviously I add in a few pulses. I don't add in potatoes, I'll explain why afterwards. I don't add in carrots either. I will also explain that in future videos when we talk about the GI levels of different foods. So the soup preparation maybe took another 10 to 15 minutes, but for half an hour preparation time on one day, I now have food that for me is going to last for at least 3 days, okay? And again, if you can get onto the Facebook group, please do, because I'm posting up the recipes and I'm posting all these different tips and stuff. I've got recipes for beef stew that can last a week, you know, and it's come and have some fun with us. You know, I would love that. And you can also subscribe to the videos. I learned that last week. Subscribe to the videos. You can even get an email apparently in your email box for these videos. So every time I post a new one, which basically means you'll get at least one email a day, you can get the email and know that the video is up. To really come back to the serious aspect, I know that we feel rushed. I'm aware of it. The one I'm having a problem finding an argument for is the microwave meal, because the microwave meal, basically you get in, you pull it out of the fridge, you punch a few holes and you stick it in the microwave, and within 5 minutes the process is done. I can find arguments for going out buying food. I can find arguments for the delivery service. You know, you phone up, then you're going to sit and watch the TV or do whatever. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. You might read a book or do whatever. I can't do anything constructive in 20 minutes. I need more time. I always feel after 20 minutes that I'm being interrupted if I have to stop. And I think it's kind of generally true. In 20 minutes, you don't really do anything very constructive. So by the time you get delivered, you've not really done anything. You could have actually prepared a meal for yourself. Going out to the restaurants, the same thing. You know, you maybe have a restaurant across the road, but by the time you go across the road, you get settled in, you order, the food is prepared for you and brought to you. You could also have made yourself a meal. Now, the microwave meal, the only real argument that I can find against it is, do you really want to have somebody else decide what's going into your plate? I don't. I like to choose myself. I like to make up my own mind, the composition of my meal. I like to make my own mind up about how much meat or how much fish is going into the meal. A lot of the time, these microwave meals, I don't know what it's like in other countries, but if you're buying for one person, you're getting between 250 grams and 300 grams of food. Personally, that's not actually consistent enough for me. I don't feel like I've actually eaten a meal. And the odd time that I do have these microwave meals, in general I have two, and then I feel rubbish afterwards. A lot of the time there are additives and things as well. Added sugar, added chemicals, added colours, added flavours, added salt. I like to choose. So what can we do? You know, not everybody has the time or the patience or even the desire to eat the same thing or to make the meal that's going to last over a few days. So what do you do in that case? Well, I do actually have a few tricks up my sleeve for that one too. Steam cooker, an oven, and a freezer. And I buy a lot of frozen food because if you are rushed, it's not maybe the ideal, but I tell you what, I'd rather get a packet of frozen beans, green beans, out of the freezer, put them in the steam cooker for 20 minutes, than go and buy a pizza that I know ultimately is going to make me put on weight and, you know, make me not feel so well perhaps afterwards, okay? And again, I do have pizza occasionally, I do have food that's fattening, let's say, occasionally, you know, I do it. I go to the restaurants occasionally. Yeah, just like everybody, but I don't make it as a rule. So this is a trick you can do. The freezer, you put your vegetables and fish, poultry go really, really well in the steam cooker. Beef and red meats, they do turn grey. I've tried it. I mean, I've experimented all kinds of different ways of doing this. They turn grey and they don't taste so nice. So I either oven cook or I do them in the frying pan with some goose fat generally. And I will talk about the cooking oils and cooking fats again in a later video. You know, I like to keep you coming back. So steam cooker, oven. There's nothing easier. And again, the steam cooker, you can go away and do something else. And maybe that is just watching the TV or phoning up a friend. You don't have to watch a steam cooker, okay? Because I know a lot of the time people think, I know for example my dad, he doesn't use a steam cooker, he does all his vegetables in the pans, but he has to keep an eye on it, so basically he has to stay in the kitchen. Oh, that's fine for my dad, that works for him. Again, find what works for you. I'm explaining what works for me. Think about what works for you. Try and, you know, get some ideas going, and like I say, get in touch and let me know what you come up with. I'd be interested to find out, and I would love for you to join the group and share your ideas with us. The other thing is, again, to come back to, we have all these machines to make our lives easy. We've got the washing machine, we've got the dishwasher. I have two dishwashers there on the end of my arms. If you happen to be in my situation and you have to wash the dishes, if you have a dishwasher is amazing. I used to have a dishwasher. When I was married, I had a dishwasher. You finish the meal, you put everything in, put it on at the end of the day, get everything out the next morning. Cool, that is just so fantastic. It was so easy, it was fantastic. I have to do the dishes after every meal, but I have a few tips and tricks, and I actually get this one from my dad. Thanks, Dad. I love my dad. So what do? I prepare the basin of hot soapy water before the meal is cooked, just before the end of the meal. As soon as I've finished serving the meal and transferring whatever into whatever dish, I put the stuff that needs to be washed directly into the basin. It soaks. You maybe take 15 minutes to eat the meal. Sometimes I'm really hungry, I'll eat it in 5 to 10, depends. The water doesn't go cold, and I put just hot water so that the water doesn't go so cold, it doesn't go cold by the time you've eaten. Wash those things through really quickly, add in the plate, the knife and fork, or the knives and forks and the plates if there's several of us, when the children eat with me. Get that all washed, and it's done in under 5 minutes. Seriously, seriously. I really believe that we have been conditioned in a sense in our society to have all this pressure in our minds, and to have in our minds all the time, we don't have time, we don't have time, we don't have time. Well, I'm going to be really kind of nasty here. That suits certain people's financial interests, for us to go and eat in the restaurants, for us to order the pizzas or whatever happens to be the delivery service. I know in some countries you can have delivered practically anything to your door and at any time of the night. So yeah, I think a lot of this is to do with conditioning. So really, I would encourage you to take a step back. And again, I'm going to repeat the story. I had my son, I felt rushed off my feet. I had my daughter, and I thought, wow, I had so much time when I only had one. And I love having both of my children. Don't get me wrong at all. I think it's fantastic. I love the busyness of that. But I think it's important to actually get in touch with what's really going on. The busyness in our mind, the overwhelmed feelings, the fact that that actually does contribute to exhausting us, and the possibility of actually organizing. We're losing the habit of cooking. So we imagine that it's an ordeal to actually do it. It's not. It can be a very pleasurable experience. And, you know, to come back again to the frozen stuff, one of the people that I'm working with right now, a woman I'm working with right now, I had actually suggested, because she has some health related, some food related, health issues, some very serious food related health issues at the moment, and she is very, very tired through the health problems on top of everything else. And I suggested to her, well, you know, get the frozen stuff, make it really easy for yourself. And she likes preparing the vegetables, so I'm not going to change that. Why would I? You know, if that's what she likes to do, she has a pleasure of preparing, which is French, so the gastronomie. So, you know, she prepares the vegetables, and for her that's actually part of the whole meal process. That's fun for her to do that. So find out what's fun for you, you know? It's fun for me to make these videos for you. I love it, and I hope you're getting a lot out of it. I hope this has been helpful. Please, please come and join us on the Facebook group. I will post the link. Look out for the Blog Talk Radio show with Dr. Joe Leonardi. And very much looking forward to that. And I will keep you posted. And what else can I say other than here's to your very good health. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you.